Hello. My name is Rich. You might notice it says Overlord Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is session one of a mini series, 10 sessions of Fellowship, which I am running in Star Wars. And in the Rich is bitten off more he may possibly chew, but there are other people who will help with the chewing, which that's I shouldn't have taken it there. Anyway, we are combining elements of Fellowship in Rebellion, which is book 3 of the 4 books of Fellowship, as well as 2 Inverse Fellowship, because we have a ship. And then a lot of the core playbooks from Fellowship 1, though they have been reskinned and reflavored to Star Wars. So it's a fun, exciting, kludgy mess. That we are playing. Fellowship is a game by Liberi Gothica. I just yesterday decided, you know what? I'm having enough fun with this to order the physical book. I've had all the PDFs, but I've ordered the physical book. It'll probably arrive from drive-through around the end of this series, I would imagine. Is what I'm anticipating. But I will have it on my shelf. We have gone through a full session 0, and we did a session 0.5 earlier. But everything seems to be prepared for this fellowship to get out and rebel against things. So, what are they rebelling against? Brief bit. This game is set post Return of the Jedi, the Return of the Jedi movie, not quite up to Mandalorian series, right? So, in that 5 or so year malaise, that period, as the New Republic is continuing to grow and try to free the Empire. Oh, you were petting. I thought you were raising your hand, but you're petting Widget. So, trying to free the galaxy from the clutches, the last clutches of the Empire. And then I've moved in a little bit of like not officially canon stuff that I like. Warlord Zinj was an Imperial, it was a Grand Moff who he declared himself the warlord of the Empire after Palpatine died. He has an Imperial remnant. It is a slice of the galaxy that is significant enough to the Empire isn't fully dead because Warlord Zinj is still around. Now, in the books, in the Legends canon, he had a bunch of cool fights and stuff with Wedge Antilles and Han Solo and all kinds of cool stuff. But for our purposes, for our game, he's just hey, notice Palpatine's dead. I can be an emperor, kind of, sort of. I'm just the warlord. And he's keeping things, keeping the Empire great, I guess, making the Empire great again, something like that. So these characters are the rebellion within Zinj's empire. So let's go around and meet them. And if you watch the 0, you've already met them, but we're going to re-meet them and also the players. Cody, you are the first among many. Please, if you could introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your character.
What's up? Hi, I'm Cody. I use the he, him pronouns. I'm playing Orin. He also uses the he, him pronouns. He is the Jedi. Jedi, of course, is a devotee of the ways of the Jedi Order, an ancient order of protectors, united by their ability to harness the power of the Force. Yada, yada, yada. You get it. His place in all of this is, he's a bit of a wanderer. He's following where the Force has guided him, and it has guided him here to this sector, to this part of the galaxy to do something what he doesn't yet know. In that time, he has spent some time with our other characters. He's taught Darren the ways of Jedi sensitivity. He trusts Nanta with the truth about himself, that he has a family. He has absolute faith in Zop's abilities, and because of Versi Diamond, the advisor to Darren, I have changed as a person. He's a bit older, a bit road traveled. He survived Order 66. He wasn't around, wasn't a part of the Order when it happened. So I think I said he's about 50s, early 50s, maybe late 40s. And past that, who knows? We'll see.
Who knows? Thank you very much, Cody. I'm very excited to see Oron. Next up is Steven. Steven, if you could introduce yourself, tell us about your character. Zuh.
Yes, I'm playing hi, my name is Steven. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Nanta, whose pronouns are also he, him. Nanta is an Ewok from the moon of Endor and stowed away on a rebellion ship whenever it left because he was excited about exploring. Um and as we know, Ewoks appear cuddly and sweet, but are little murder bears. So, um, the viciousness associated with Nanta endeared himself to the rebellion, and he has a companion, R0 or Ro, who will translate for him. He understands basic, he understands what people say, but he has too much of an accent to really speak much. So I think Ro will accompany him and speak for him. He might be able to get his meaning known without Ro if needed. Um, and let's see. Um, is there anything else? Should I go over bonds that are already established?
Yeah, let's give a brief mention to those, similar to how Cody did.
So I recognize that Darren enjoys the finer things in life, and this is kind of soft to me. It's a little bit foreign. I don't understand why he likes the finer claws and the nice sleeping bed and all of that. One of these days I'll be good at this adventuring business as Zop is. Um, and I will never lie to Orion because I think he'll know whether or not I'm lying. And I've mesmerized Churdal, the Wookiee companion, with my stories.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Steven. Next up is uh, special guest Kay. Welcome, Kate. Introduce
Me?
yourself. Tell us about your character.
Yeah, I am Kay of the she and they variety, but I will be playing Darren von Vorlock, our heir. Rich has indulged me as an heir, and we have created my own planet with its own race. The planet is called Vorlock, and I guess they're Warrens, which are a derivative, the noun, not the adjectives, similar to Zeltrons in some ways, with powerful emotions changing their skin. And we're a relatively calm and peaceful species, but my royal domain of Warlock was recently discovered in the galaxy, and now I have a lot of emotions that are big and strong towards Zinj that I need to deal with. Most of them are unpleasant. Uh, I have my bond. So I wish Oron would show me his more feral or powerful ways without so much of the preamble about light and dark. That all seems meaningless to me. He also, side note, as a Vorin, has an ability called the Stillness, which seems to be a sort of similar thing to an extent to the Force, two sides of the same coin vibes. Uh, Darren prefers to work with Nanta when he can, because he feels that Nanta is an emissary of violence and understands my inner need for rage and blood. He also finds Zop's shamanistic ways remind him of home, despite the differences in our understanding of that power. And then I also put this for Shivalsa, but let me know if this isn't okay, Tyler. I find myself continually drawn to Shivalsa despite my better judgment. And then
I think it's perfect, and I have worked with that.
heck yeah. As the heir, Darren comes with two companions. One is Cherdol the Wookiee, who would give his life for Darren. He actually owes a life debt to Darren's older sister, Leofira von Vorlak, who sent Cherdol with Darren. And then he is also accompanied by his advisor, Verzi Diamond, who wants to make a proper and royal heir of Darren, who has not been acting very Warren lately.
And the non-acting Vorin is being gold, being emotional. Is that
So yeah, it's a lot of so the stillness which they're connected to is especially a lot of like sort of almost like calm and contemplative sort of powers and understanding. And Darren's been having a lot of big feelings lately, with his whole planet kind of getting invaded and taken over by Zinja's empire, his parents being murdered.
okay?
You
Good.
know, little things.
Yeah, I mean, why are you so upset? Like, it's just do everything turn or something? I don't know. Sounds good. I like it. Thank you for defining that for me. Greg, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character,
Recurring
returning.
character. Hi, I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Zop Books, also he, him. Zop is a Rhodian bounty hunter who has appeared in numerous Star Wars Saturday games. Bounty hunter under big, heavy quotes. He's not very good at it. He is this time we're playing the hack of the orc playbook. So he is the big, heavy guns of the group. A born rebel will not be put under the boot of Zinj in any way. And so just go through bonds real quick. Let's see. Zop has fought for the rebellion. Zop has turned in previous companions under their under their bounties that he found them. He also had an ear parasite put in by one of our NPCs long ago after he murdered her father. So storied history of Zop. Also has a cybernetic arm because his own vibra rapier cut off his arm. Nanta seeks power like mine, and I do not want that for Nanta. I think Nanta may even be interested in joining the Tanwa clan. Are you into that, Stephen? That's the bounty hunting guild that Zop belongs to.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
They do have full
Uh,
medical and a great 401k.
Yeah, when they're not trying to murder you too. I can sense the presence of Chevelsa when she would rather that I did not. Zop once did love a Jedi, but he died in Order 66. I cannot help but respect Oron. We duel on occasion. He's improving. He's a little out of practice. I have lost, totally not sold, a Beskar shield that Darren loved, and I seek their forgiveness. And then also Little Falkeen, that ear parasite. We used to fight all the time, but now neither of us can remember what it was all about. I think there's been some memory wipe mutually between the two of us. Yeah, I think that's pretty much Zop.
That is Zop. Man, I love the recent evolutions for this iteration of Zop. They are terrifying and delightful. That sounds great. Now, we get to beat Tyler. So Tyler is the person who introduced me to Fellowship. He ran this incredible campaign of it for our Sunday night group. And I went from not sure to, oh yeah, this Fellowship game is pretty rocking. So I owe that all to Tyler and his excellent overlordship. So I'm hoping to walk in those footsteps. That was when he was carrying me across the beach, friends. So with all that, Tyler, if you could introduce yourself and then tell us about the playbook that you're playing and that character.
Absolutely. I'm playing Matron Chevales Andrews. She was raised as a Night Sister. I think I misspoke when I was telling other people. Her mother is Kasia, who is also the mother of Darth Maul. When Darth Maul was taken by Sidious, given by our mother to Darth Sidious, I stayed at home, but because Maul was out and about, I finally decided I must leave and began to travel the galaxy some. And fell in with the Empire in various means, not exactly as a part, but working with. As it began to collapse, I found myself looking back towards home, and that is when I found that our top dog, the Warlord, had taken over this area. I am technically a Night Sister, but that's there are ways out of that, I'm sure. I will be playing the Nemesis, which the Nemesis is not a member of the Fellowship. They are, well, as the great bard Billie Eilish says, I'm a bad guy. I work with the top dog. I work with Rich's Overlord. And I have some moves that go along with that. I can make GM cuts at certain times and against certain people. I don't have a wisdom stat. I instead have I believe it's steel. Meaning I can't use some moves, but I have some extra moves that sort of help me out doing my things. I pull companions from the Overlord's armies, and I can make them companions by doing certain things. I'm a leader in the Empire's sense, in that I get a leadership move from that as long as I am part of the Empire. If I become the Redeemed, which I can do by joining in with the Fellowship to help them out, I can do that back and forth, pop back and forth. While I'm a Redeemed, I'm a weakness to the Empire, which can be exploited. And when I'm back at the Nemesis, I get my leadership power back. I don't have to work with the other leaders, but I do have to follow the top dog's orders. I am following him, at least as we are now. Let's see. We'll see a bunch of kind of the differences that come in on kind of my moves and how I show up. But think of it as like a very small underneath Rich's Overlord with some of the things I can do. For me particular, I picked up the Dark Power to start with as my custom move. I am a threat to the world. When the Fellowship makes a move against me, they must pay a price first. You do not need to pay a price when you go against other threats to the world. That's part of this game, that if you're going against threat to the world, you have to mark a box or a gear or a something to be able to affect them at all. So I am like that as well. My leadership move that I chose is a Vile Deceiver. Empire threats under my command can tell one lie when the Fellowship speaks softly to you. When the Fellowship tries to finish you, if you have any troops, you can have the Fellowship finish them instead of you, because I will just shove my people in front of you, you shoot them, and I go, oh, I got to get out of here. So that is my leadership move. There is possibilities for perhaps for me to switch those out during like a refresh bit. Let's see. Other big moves are that are worth y'all remembering is a moment's hesitation. When I make a move against the Fellowship, if they erase one bond they hold with me, I will hesitate, and I will either show them mercy, tell them something important, or I act anyway, but I roll in despair. And I don't kill the Fellowship, and the Fellowship doesn't kill me. If I finish you with blood, you mark all your stats damaged and you're taken out. If I finish you with something else, it's just finished you with something else. If you finish me, I get hurt and I run away. So we don't really kill each other. The idea behind the Nemesis is kind of Darth Vader. It's the figuring out that there's something more important than the awful evil that you joined, and, you know, turning around and zapping old Palatine, throwing him down the shaft. My hope is that I can tempt some folks to my side, or be tempted away from my side, or maybe a little of both. I have an agenda of my own, which is that I seek retribution. I hurt the Fellowship and others to ease my own pain. And that is because, having come back here, seen another leader put in charge of Dathomir, it is my desire to get this warlord and his people off of my planet so that I can rule it and perhaps take over what he's formed here and turn it into a true knight empire, as is deserved. I hope that the rebellion will help me in that. They'll regret if they don't. I do have some bonds that I need to fill out. And I'll go through them real quick. I have some ideas. I will protect, and I think that this one, Kay, is probably for you. I will protect Darren from my cruel master.
Spicy, I love it.
Excellent. So I'm going to have that one be for you, I think, if that's okay. I'm thinking my feelings for Oron confuse me. And I think that it has maybe something to do with maybe the dark isn't where I want to be, but maybe more in the gray. And I kind of love what you've done with your backstory because you've already taken your steps off the pure path of light. Maybe together we can find the gray. I'm looking over here and thinking maybe, Greg, what do you think about that you betrayed me? That we have worked together in the past, or we've had
See, I was
Stop, you
looking
son
at
of a.
I was looking at I have defeated blank before, but no, yeah, I love betrayed you.
and we somehow we worked together. That's how you could perhaps detect when I'm around. We had something that was close enough in our machinations that we know each other well. Does that seem good?
Oh yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm trying to remember if I'll have to look at some previous games. There might have been a moment where Zop had a holocron. So let me I'll look
Okay.
back on that.
And
Are you like
again,
ex-partners or something?
Yeah.
could well be. Because again, I haven't worked exclusively with the Empire. I was out across the galaxy doing my own thing. This is just where I've sort of fallen in now that everything's crumbling away, and it's not exactly a safe place to be when you're a dark side user at the moment, this galaxy.
Yeah, I'm also totally willing to figure out how I betrayed you in play. So yeah, I'm
Good,
great for that one.
yes. A
So
little
maybe
harder.
Zop
Go ahead.
betrayed. Zop betrayed Chevale so to get into the Tanwa clan.
Like way back when.
Yeah, we get young Zop. Anyway, let's keep going. Sorry.
That's very interesting. And Stephen, yours is a little harder for me to think of how this Ewok and I have dealt with each other. I was thinking either I will capture you no matter the cost, or I need you to understand. Those come from different places. What do you think?
So I'm not sure if we get to establish bonds with you, but I made one up, and I'm going to state that, and then that might color which one you like. The one that I stole from Impulse Drive. You aren't a leader anymore, and I don't have to take your orders, and I'm totally not scared of you.
Ooh.
Sarcasm. I'm totally not scared of you, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. So, does that help? One of them was, I will capture you no matter the cost, and the other was, you need me to understand.
Do you think that this time was like on Endor? Was I there for some point back before the liberation?
I like the
Or
idea that this was after I'd left Endor, and we can find it out during play, like what exactly happened, and we cross paths. I like the idea that you were trying to boss me around, and I didn't like that. So that means it wasn't, you were trying to attack. You were trying to, destroy my group. Was I hanging out with Zop then?
ooh, that's
Maybe
not
this
a
was, yeah. Maybe we can tie that into your bond with Zop.
Okay. Then how about let's go with the I need you to understand in the idea that maybe I think your hostility is misplaced, or that's what a leader does, is how they. I believe that's how someone commands. You need to understand this is not an easy world where you get to be your fluffy little self. There's a harshness to it, and you just didn't understand that.
Right. Yes.
Cool.
And I think there's
All
some
right.
jealousy in there about your relationship with Zop. Like,
Mm.
what?
Love it. Okay, cool. All right. So I think that's my bonds. And as I say, my agenda is different than the warlords, but I work with them. And we can work together. And like Rich as a GM, it is also part of my agenda to be a fan of the players and help you along. So not all my moves are do bad things to you.
But ultimately, they kind of are.
A lot of them are.
Delightful. Delightful. What a great introduction. And thank you for working through those bonds, everybody. Very excited. So, as we look at the starting steps, we know about the Empire. Does anyone have any questions about the Empire? Because that is the thing I want to make sure I'm not assuming away. From a map perspective, we have a map. A map. This is a picture of Warlord Zinj. We'll blow this up here. The Zinj's empire goes all the way from this is the inner core all the way out to the outer rim. There are several planets of note. Dathomir, of course, very important to the matron. Sereno is the in the Empire, it is the capital, the Imperial capital. It's not a power move. This is the home to the top dog, which is Warlord Zinj. And because of a fellowship move that Darren started with, you guys are aware of the location of Dathomir being one of the places of power. It is an elite outpost, or has an elite outpost. And their weakness of Dathomir is that it has a supply shortage. The leader in this area is Terran Malikos, a former Jedi Knight. And I do think that Terran Malikos knows Oron. Like, they just seem like they served in the served together at some point. That just seems appropriate to me, right?
It's age appropriate. Yeah, I think probably Terran and Oron were children in the order at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, when everything was great before things went wrong. Yeah.
I did forget something, and it's actually really, really important.
Let's do it.
It is what is the nemesis? I have to pick what this is how I get to make cuts. I have two choices that I'm on. One of them is Loveless Family. One of the Fellowship is important to you, and you will recruit or save them at all costs. The rest of the Fellowship can die for all you care. And when you act in their best interest, according to you or your cruel master, you can make cuts. Profess your love. The other is Betrayed Hunter. One of them has hurt you, and you recruit or destroy them at all costs. The rest of the Fellowship can do whatever they want. I can always make cuts against the traitor, or, that person. To me, this sounds like either, if it's Betrayed Hunter, that seems like Zop. If it is Loveless Family, that seems like Darren. I'm open for both of them. Would either of you like to be the easiest person I can cut at? For Darren, it feels like I want to twist Darren towards the dark side. For Zop, I think there's lots of interesting, old past coming back at each other, which can also be fun.
I mean, I'm always going to say yes, but it is your choice.
I'm also okay with I would love to be your rival. I think I'm more interested though in seeing with the Force user in between. That kind of creates a triangle with Oron, so I kind of like that one.
All right, then let's go with Loveless Family, I think.
You can still make cuts against me, Tyler. I think Rich will allow it.
Oh,
You
it'll
won't
happen.
hear any complaints from me.
That's
All
really
right.
interesting, especially because of your bond to Oron.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, let's go then with Loveless Family. That means Darren, I will act in your best interest, according to me, or my master. And I can make cuts when I do that. And there, that's me. Sorry, I
No sorries.
forgot
That's
to do
very
that
exciting.
earlier.
That is good stuff. Thank you for bringing that in. That would have we would have felt the lack of it because that is pretty darn important. Good stuff. Okay. So let's continue working through. So introduce your hero. We did that. Meet the Empire. I have asserted myself, and the society you find yourself in is oppressive. No one says anything bad about Warlord Zinj or the Empire itself. There is a police state in effect in most of the Empire, meaning that everyone with notoriety has a +2 notoriety level. You guys are starting at 0, so you don't have any notoriety. But the moment you pop onto my radar, your notoriety is going to rocket up, and that affects how the Empire reacts to you wherever you are within the Empire. I have an organization that is primarily the stormtroopers, but there are a group of Knight Brothers and other elites who will often be found at areas of import for the Empire. And the rebellion is you guys have to deal with a weapons ban. Now, that does impact small blasters, blaster rifles, but it also impacts trying to get your ships fitted with weapons. It's being tracked. Therefore, the rebellion gains one less in their stat called forces. And when you spend forces, you must also spend health. People will be hurt or killed. They will be captured. The all-seeing eye of Warlord Zange will know. We've handled bonds. We've talked about our rebellion. I do want to ask some questions about your relationship with Captain Rex, but we can do that once we get a little further in. But do be thinking about that. What is the relationship that you have with Captain Rex? Yeah, you will start with Forces 1. Thank you for asking the question. Yeah, due to my choice, you start with 1 less forces. Now, there's one thing we do before we start play, and this is interesting, specifically because we've all talked about Star Wars characters, and other than Darren, they're all relatively known. But one of the agendas in Fellowship that the players have is to tell us of your people. Therefore, at the start of play, each player will answer this prompt individually, and I'll drop it in our chat just so everybody can reference it and be thinking about it. You choose another player and tell us a rumor or superstition that your people hold about their people. That player cannot tell you whether or not it is true. Let's Cody, do you mind being our like note taker on this particular thing? Is that okay?
Absolutely not. Where would you like me to put the
Let's
notes?
drop it in game info, and I'll just add a little area called rumors there. See it?
Yep.
Okay. So who feels comfy about talking about rumors? Who wants to choose another player and tell a rumor about or a superstition? Meaning, who's got a rumor in mind that they're itching to throw out? And I think Tyler, you are able to do this if you want to participate in rumors.
I do have an idea.
Ooh. So Darren, choose another player and tell us a rumor or superstition that your people have about their people.
Hey, Steven. So I think that Vorons hold that Ewoks are no better than wild animals. Their bloodlust controls them, and the false image that they present is despicable.
The false image of what?
Being cute fluffies.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They're cute fluffies, but all they want to do is murder. They can't control their base instincts. They don't know how to be one with the stillness.
Man. So Darren's people believe that the Ewoks are nasty murder bears.
Pretty much, they're basically savages.
Which I think Steven's pretty excited about because you like sought out a move to make that true. So this is good.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Darren's like, "This is the coolest thing ever. You understand my rage."
Cool. Thank you very much. Then Steven, since you've been chosen, you get to choose next. Choose another PC and tell us a rumor or superstition that your people, the Ewoks, hold about their people.
Would another PC include Chevalsa?
Yes.
Great. Back on my home world, whenever the skeleton armored people invaded, there were rumors of the devil. And the devil there, the evil one, dressed in all black, and I think that is Chevalsa, and Chevalsa is the devil.
Shit. Dang. Not Deferonians.
Right. I mean, there are, gods, of course, are all golden, right? And the black devil, I think that's why I hated her so much whenever she was working with Zop. So
nice. Very good. Tyler, since Chevalsa has been chosen, you get to tell us. Pick another PC. Tell us a rumor that your people believe.
Right. I'm gonna go with Oren, and it's I think is it okay if I do it as as the New Order, right? Because that's sort of your people at the moment.
Yeah. Yep.
The rumor going around with us is they have lost the path of the true masters that were before. And they are a pale imitation that is ready to be corrupted.
So real quick, Oren has lost the path of the true masters that were before. They are a pale imitation of what came before and are ready to be corrupted. You said the new order. Oren's not a part of like any new order of Jedi, but I think I get what you're saying. Just like any leftover Jedi are this.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Luke, whatever Luke's going to be forming, or whatever's left of the Jedi that were there, are the pale imitation of what once was.
The old, yeah. Okay, cool.
Because they have the rumors of what Yoda was when they met him, and the Dathomir really feared him.
They should. I think, yeah. Sweet. Cody, Oron's been chosen, so now you get to choose another player.
Yeah, I think the one I wanted to go with, I think Oron's people, the Jedi of the past, there has to do with royalty. And I think it's that planets with monarchies in place aren't often in keeping with the light side of things. That they are more prone to the dark side. They're more prone to poor action for their people, and thus wider suffering. So I think the rumor is Darren's people royalty as a concept is a bad one and probably should be rooted out when it gets even slightly out of order.
Oh, fucking spicy. Darren will kill you. I love this.
Oh, is that how we're starting, Kay? You think I'm a Jedi, Darren?
It's on.
All right.
Delightful.
Touch it. You touch his sister, his one remaining family, and it's on.
And then Kate, you have you've already done one, so I guess,
Zop.
Yeah, that's Zop. I guess we'll do one for Zop then, I guess.
The Dathomiri are the only species with a more penchant for betrayal than our own.
Ooh. Delightful. Oh, that's good. Wow, spicy stuff. Now, we shall start playing. Where to start? Shall we start with you guys? I think we're going to start with you guys in the flotilla. I think because this is Star Wars, we're going to start with you guys in the flotilla, and we're going to start in the middle of some action. There is Captain Rex has informed everyone on the flotilla that there is a large force moving to. Kate, I just want to double check here. The planet is called Vorlock, right? Vorlock?
Yes.
Okay. So there is a large contingent of Imperial ships headed to Vorlock. And Captain Rex calls over the loudspeakers. I need to speak with the crew of the Diligent Spark. If a lot of you can gather, we need to have a conversation because this is a true and imminent threat to Vorlock.
Yeah,
So-
Darren's there so fast. So like just getting his people like as quickly as possible.
Nice. So we see the Captain Darren von Vorlock. I guess your pilot will continue to pilot because you are in the flotilla. I'm imagining there are a couple, like there's one Nebulon B frigate because I can't not have it. They're the one that looks like a giant ray gun with a handle and everything. Those are cool. There are a number of other ships that people will pick out later and say, oh, wow, that's the so-and-so of the blah, blah, blah. But we're not going to worry about that now. Zooms in on you guys. This is a large-ish ship, like it's a crew of 16. So it is, I believe it's bigger than the Millennium Falcon by half. Is it not? This Republic cruiser?
Yeah, speak. Someone worked like the blockade runner beginning of New Hope.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Similar to the Tantive. Thank you. That gives me a good idea of scale. So it sweeps across its golden hull and then zooms in to. I'm trying to look. It doesn't really look like there are defined rooms, although there is a main salon area. I will try to highlight it. This is from the cool pick that we used when we chose this. It's we have a cockpit, not a bridge, and a navigator station, comm station, but underneath here, I think that's where the hologram pad is with a lot of you. Look at that guy in robes. Oh, it's wild, huh? It's pretty cool. But it's near the front of the ship, just underneath the main forward sensors, is where you guys would be gathering. Captain Darren von Vorlock, how is it that you call the crew to have this conversation with Captain Rex, the leader of your rebellion?
Yeah, I think Darren sort of speaks through the stillness, which I think kind of looks like there are these little objects, just like innocuous things that should be there in all the places where y'all are set, that suddenly you kind of just get the sort of almost feeling of Darren to an extent, like in your head. It's very bratty and very loud, and it's just like sort of like the come here right now, we shall meet at blank. Also, I don't know why this is important to me, but I feel like it needs to be stated. I think Darren is like 5'8". Like he's on the shorter side. He's still growing. He's like 18 or 19. Yeah, but he is a tiny tot giving orders comparatively.
Good stuff. When we cut to Nanta getting this message, of course R0 would not hear it. What's Nanta doing? Where is Nanta in the ship?
Nanta's in the galley, probably eating, and once he gets the message, heads back up towards where the salon is. I think, waddling a little bit and still, noshing on whatever drum leg he's got.
Neat.
I think we get this picture of him getting into the area where the table is and hopping up on one of the chairs, but literally having to hop up to get up there.
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah. So he like throws an arm up on and then climbs up onto it, or does he jump?
No, I think he climbs up, and I think there's a smear of like some of the sauce from the turkey leg that he has, and climbs up and sits down and just continues eating. I think the table's like about nose height for him. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's just is R0 the kind of droid that would just quietly just move over, grab some rag to wipe at the barbecue sauce, or does she ignore it altogether?
I think they ignore it, and basically I think they're slower, so they come in later and just stand by the back of the door.
Okay. Cool. That's lovely. What about Zopbooks? What is the cutscene that we have when we intro Zopbooks?
So I think the gunnery position is up by the pilot's chair, sort of probably like back to back, and gets this call. Oh, sits up, and speaks Wookiees a little bit as best as Zop can to
Chirdal?
Trudal, thank you. Trudal, like, oh, we have to go downstairs. And just subtitles back and forth.
Yeah. And the subtitles from Chirdal is, I gotta fly the ship, you've gotta go.
And so Zop picks up the weapons and heads downstairs. It is because very close to where this is the first to arrive.
Oh, true. Yeah, that makes sense. What about Oron? Where is Oron on the ship when you receive the message through the stillness? And I'm curious, how do you like this kind of bratty royal just talking in your head?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to Oron, he is going to use one of his elder arts immediately to whisper on the wind, send a message to someone you have a bond with. They will hear it whispered in their ears moments after you send it, and they can send a reply of up to 5 words. He's going to reply back to Darren in a much more focused, measured way. And he says, to use your power in such a way and let your emotions bleed through is not becoming of a ruler or a wielder of the Force.
It's stillness. Get here now. 5 words.
Nailed it. Yeah, Oron on the ship, I I lost the cutaway. I don't know where, here we go. It's down here. Awesome. Oh nope, that's the wrong ship down there.
What?
At the bottom, it's the assault ship on the bottom of the Rebellion, or maybe you're using that for something else. That was my bad. He, I think, is probably lingering in nearby a lounge, and he was perhaps sharing a cup of calf with Versi. Just kind of a quick little, passing by. I think their relationship, or the nature of their relationship, not a well-known thing about the ship, so they don't spend much time together aside from passing through similar rooms. So he gets the call, he's irritated, he sends back a stern little message, and then nods and says, "It appears that we are being summoned by the captain."
I'm sure it's important. I wouldn't worry, Orem. And I don't think she heard the reply or is even aware of it, right? Because that's just a thing Oron.
Oh, she'd be so unhappy with him if she probably heard that reply. Not very gentle.
Would she, Darren? Is it being a proper royal heir, that behavior? Oren finishes his calf and heads to the meeting.
Cool. So folks gather around. The holo pops up. We see Captain Rex on the hologram, and I think it's a full body so that we can see why he is not active in the field. So I'm going to ask Zop, what has Captain Rex lost? What can we see and know that he has lost since, well, he was part of Return of the Jedi, is the big rumor that he's, the guy on the Force Moon of Endor. So from that moment to now, what is it that we see that he has lost that prevents him from going into the field?
Hold on, we'll pull up Rex. I think because he's rapidly aging at this point, right? As a clone.
Yes.
I think he's lost a little bit of his calm. I think it's he's starting to lose a bit of his training to sort of, be a general, and like he's a little more brash than we would expect. Is that
interesting?
He can't be trusted to go out into the field at this point. He has to stay within the fleet where it's a little more, can be calmer for him.
I like it. So he stands in military attention as you guys are coming in. He patiently waits for everyone to arrive. Nanta comes right after Zop has arrived. Darren, I think you, of course, would probably just like wait for, so you can be the last one to enter. Is that a Darren thing?
He's like standing at the door, and then we'll like come in down the middle.
Nice. Rex looks across the lot of you. He, of course, has a corresponding hologram so that he can make somewhat of eye contact, but he's tiny version. But not as big as Nanta. Like Nanta, you're bigger than this hologram. So we just have the blue, and he flickers just a little bit. Thank you all for gathering. We have received communication from your sister, Leofria. Is it Leofira? How are you saying it? I'm sorry, I had to break it. Leofira. Leofira is concerned about
Queen
Imperial.
Leofira.
Queen Leofira is concerned about Imperial forces. They have started a blockade outside of Varlock and are shutting down any commerce and supplies. Now, we, as a flotilla, cannot directly act against that, but your ship can. I would like for the lot of you to gather some supplies to take to Queen Leofira and her people to make sure that they can continue our work against the Empire.
Of course, we're on our way now.
Good. And then he will work out the details. There are a few ships that are bringing supplies from the flotilla to load up on the Diligent Spark. Who do we see that cares for making sure everything is put away? Like, who's your porter? Quartermaster, I guess, would be R0, right? Managing resources. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Gain 3 extra crew to spend on restocking the ship when you land in a port, but you're not doing that now. What about Nanta? With R0 gone, what do you do during the resupply? Or not the resupply, but with this supplies being added.
Yeah, so I think that I head back to the galley and I start making putting together like ration packs, right? And putting them in like, pockets and, little things. And then I go to the rest of the crew and hand them, here's your pack for a few days, handing them rations as we, go around.
Nice. Oron, is there anything you do during this moment of calm before you will have to jump into light speed and rush to this planet's aid?
I think knowing that we're about to rush to a planet's aid has Oron thinking, okay, let's get a breath, take a breather. This is where the Force wants to guide me and these people. And I think he's a little, he allowed himself to be put off, what's the word I'm looking for? Off balance with Darren's message. And then his sniped back. He thinks, that wasn't a good use of my powers. I could have just spoken to him in person. And so Oron is he's meditating and just kind of trying to find his center again before it gets dicey.
Are there any moves that you may trigger in trying to do that? Let's see. Maybe not. I just wanted to check.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he's sitting cross-legged. Freya is seated nearby him. When Nanta comes by with the ration pack, he thanks thank you, little friend. That's very kind. I don't need this. We're on the ship, but that's all right. Your care is not unnoticed. And then finds his center and tries to regain his center.
Nice. What about Zop? You just hop back in the gunnery station and let the people load up stuff that's not your trouble, or
no,
what?
We're going into Zinja's space. The protocol has to be followed. Zop is going around the ship taking everybody's weapons and putting them in the smuggling compartments. So I think Nanta brings the rations to him. Ooh. Ugh. Blasto. Like Zop just gestures toward Nanta's weapons.
And I think Nanta pulls out like a axe and a bow and that kind of stuff and puts it into the smuggling compartment.
Awesome.
Oh,
Ooh.
and I think pulls out like a little charm or something and puts that in there too.
Ooh, charm. Whatever could that be for? Neat.
Zop picks it back up and whatever, puts it back into the smuggling compartment, closes it up.
Nice. What about Oron's lightsaber? Is that a thing that Zop's gonna ask to be put in the smuggling compartment?
Yeah. Oron?
Oron like
What
opens his eyes. Yes, what is it? We're certainly not there yet already.
your weapon? We're heading into space. They must be put back in the smuggling compartments, unless we are scanned.
He pats his saber on his side. You wouldn't part an old man from his it's a tool, but I'm sure it would be a problem. Yes, fine here. I'm not as good with it as you would be. You best me in every duel we have, so take it, Zop. It is fine.
It will be nearby.
Dang. A pretty good relationship you have with the old man. Neat.
What does your lightsaber look like, Oron? Is it look like in your picture
It
there
does,
with
yeah.
the cross
It's
hilt?
got the cross hilt. It's awesome. It's old. It's beat up. It looks like it's in. It probably looks like it's been in disrepair, and only lately has he been able to start fixing it with the supplies of this rebellion. So it has like mismatched parts. If he was to ignite it, who knows what you'd see. But yeah, I think it's old. It looks vintage, but with newer, you know what I mean? It looks like if somebody had an old record player but started putting new parts on the side, you're like, oh, that's definitely not the case of it, but it has the shape. That's what I would say. Yeah.
I think
Nice.
before Zop puts it away, he like cleans off a little section of it that's particularly charred or worn, and then places it gently into the smuggling compartment.
Nice. Good. I think I'd like to cut to a scene with Matron Chevalsa Henri's. So here's the question. Has Zinj, the top dog, sent you to the planet, or is this a trap that you have set to draw the diligent spark to the planet?
I think I've been sent.
Nice. What does the conveyance that Matron Chevalsa uses, what does she use? Is it a sleek starship? Is it a starfighter where she doesn't travel with an entourage of any kind? What do you imagine what's her conveyance?
I think it's probably one of the ambassadorial shuttles, the ones that kind of look like a triangle set. And I probably have a couple of Imperial troops with me, but nothing in particular.
Nice. Okay, so are you imagining this is something with a crew of dozens or hundreds? Like how big of a scale does Matron Chevalsa Henri's travel?
I probably have like a couple of dozen. There's whatever else he has planned, but my little retinue is just a couple of dozen.
Cool. So Matron's the kind of person that other people pilot for her. Yes, am I reading that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea of him reaching out to you via a hollow, so that we get to see our warlord on screen, as it were. To get the little puck, and he pops up for the communication, and it's just the upper half, and we see he's got the festooned with medals, the imperial garb, spick and span clean. His mustache has been recently waxed and just twirled just so, like it comes up just right, and they're perfectly symmetrical. And he peers at you for a moment. Matron, I'm sending you. Yes.
What title does he prefer?
Warlord Zinj.
Warlord? Okay. Yes, my warlord.
Sending you to Vorlock. I want you to bring the queen under heel. Secure
Yes.
all of their belongings as Imperial. We need to make sure that they understand our power.
Boss. Overlord. I have sensed the power here.
Our power exists in such a tiny planet.
They possess something of the Force.
You speak of that long dead religion as if it holds power for the others. Palpatine's dead.
Of course, Overlord. As you say.
The Queen will submit to you, or you will take her head.
Of course, great Warlord. It will be my pleasure.
It's a long moment. He just looks at you. Do not fail me.
No, Warlord. Of course not.
I look forward to hearing from you on the surface of Orlok. He winks out. He has supplied you with stormtroopers. Do you have any forces that are your own?
Not yet.
Okay. So, yeah, you will jump into hyperspace and head to Vorlok. You are the instigator of this. Awesome. As you arrive, you come out of hyperspace, you see that there are already a couple of Star Destroyers that are arriving as well. They have set up a blockade. You know that messages are going out. What do you want to do, matron?
I will send message to the fleet. Message to the fleet. Land in all of the ports. No one leaves. No one comes in. And alert me should anyone attempt to breach the blockade. I would like a tight beam communication with the Queen, please.
Nice. Sweet. They step two. The captains of the Star Destroyers report in that they are in position and geosynchronous orbits to keep eyes on the entirety of the planet, but they've located where Vorlok's main populace is, and that's where the capital city is. And you reach out to Leofira, Queen Leofira.
Yes.
The comm comes on. You see Leofira. Is there, so Darren, would she be sitting in your mother's throne? Is this are we going full on space royal? Is that where your vibes are on
Yeah,
this?
I think that's where we're vibing.
Nice. So she's composed. She's dressed well. She has a small little circlet, and she regards you. There are a few attendants near her, Varlock, soldiers, but none of them have weapons that can be obviously seen.
Your Majesty, I am Matron Savelza Andres. By the grace of Warlord Zinj, your planet has received our protection. We have heard word that the rebellion may be active in the area. Because of our concerns for you and your population, we will be taking over defense of the planet. We expect your cooperation.
Dang, that is a hard opening move. I love it. It sounds like well, you're not asking for help. You're definitely not speaking softly.
I don't speak softly.
Exactly.
I do speak harshly. If I were going to demand some answers from her. It could be that let's see.
I'm just eager to get a move on the table. That's all. But if it doesn't fit, we can move on.
Yeah, unless I need to. Actually, let's go. Yeah, to get a move on the table, let's do. I think I'm going to go with a speak harshly. As I say, you have not heard of any activity of the rebels. Have you, Your Majesty?
Ooh. And this is
so-
roll plus iron, which is a +2 for you.
Yes. All right. Rolling. That's an 8. Not the greatest.
Not the worst. Okay. On a 7+, ask 2 questions from the list. They must answer honestly. On a 6-, you may only ask one. Wow, that is a harsh. Okay. On a 9-, one of their answers may be a lie if they want to lie to you. You will not be told which answer is the lie, or if even there is a lie at all. Interesting. Okay. So you have asked, have you heard about any rebellion? Is that it? So
yeah, my 2 questions is what can you tell me about the Fellowship? Is have you heard anything about the rebellion? And the second, so she'll know which one to lie to or not. The second one is, and my information says Prince Darren is no longer on the planet. For his security, I would know his location.
dang. Okay. She considers my younger brother is of no threat to the Empire. We've sent him out with an old Republic ship with some of his friends. He's too emotional. I will continue to rule here. He's no threat to the Empire. He's not worth your effort, matron. The Diligent Spark is the ship that they travel on. Him and his friends.
I will make sure that his ship is known in the Empire so that he will remain safe.
Thank you. I assure you, there is no rebellion here. We have no taste for it.
That is gratifying to hear, Your Majesty. And of course, it is our great warlord's sole desire to see the planets and the rulers beneath him secure, safe, and taken care of. Your cooperation will end our operation quickly.
Good. Are some there are some preparations for a local holiday that are very important to our people.
I see no reason to interfere with your local customs.
Thank you for your consideration. You're too kind, matron.
Yes.
When you arrive at the capital city, I will make sure that you and whatever entourage you wish will be escorted to the palace.
Thank you. I assure you, I will arrive shortly.
Very well. I look forward to it.
Boy.
You good?
I look back at the command crew. Once all the ports are secure, I will descend, prepare a guard, and I suppose that'll fade me out.
Yep. Fade out at that point. So we cut to the Diligent Spark. And so we have a Jedi move that allows communication. I want to make sure that that move is special. So how do we want to deal with Darren's use of the stillness to communicate with people and with perhaps others trying to communicate with Darren?
A suggestion might be that Darren, so the move itself, right, allows you to communicate, but it's very specifically with someone you have a bond with, and it's 1-to-1. Maybe Darren's isn't 1-to-1. Anybody can overhear it. Anyone else can,
Yeah, it's just yeah.
It's
I
like
like
a loud blast that if you're nearby, you're gonna hear it.
Yeah, it's essentially like a little speaker because it's he's passing it through like a sort of a calmed object, and so it's not something he can secure in the same way that Oron can.
Nice. I love that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That differentiation is pretty great. Yes, and it is irritating, right? Like it's annoying. Cool. Are there any Is there anyone need a scene before we have you arrive at Varlock?
Less of a scene, but I just want to make note. Darren does not give his Beskar sword to you, Zop. If you come looking for his weapon, he will just have let you know that it is secured somewhere else. Because you lost the shield.
Fair.
Oh man, I haven't forgiven you for that. That was a long time ago, right? No big
Like
deal.
a week ago.
Yeah, a whole week. You haven't lost anything in a week. Come on. It's just the worst. Just so mean. Okay. The spark comes out of hyperspace and yes, it's Zop, you're right up there up front in the not a gun turret.
Not a gun turret right now.
Not a gun turret right now. When Cherdal starts talking like calling out that there are two star destroyers in orbit around this planet, and you guys are immediately hailed.
Could I move myself to the map room as the navigator and look for either a gap in where these Star Destroyers are blockading, or perhaps a safe place to set down. I
I
think.
would like to move in with a cut.
Oh my! I couldn't even command Lord.
I'll give you. I think I'll have you set up to do, but this will go off of my cut with Darren. There is as y'all come in, you can see that there is one of the ports, or with your sensors, there's one port that has in particular not been taken over.
That's awesome. Of course, PBTA, you make a cut, you don't speak its name. So yeah, it's as you pull up the map room, you immediately see, oh, there's one port that hasn't been taken over.
All right. And surely this isn't a trap. Yeah, I think that's what Oren's looking for. There's a port that's not taken over. That's what he's hoping to see. He yells over the shoulder to the pilot, to the captain. I guess not the captain, the pilot, because it's right there. And he says, this port looks like it's unoccupied as of yet. It might be the safest approach for now, but I can't guarantee it'll be that for long. We can't dally.
Zop just closes we're hailed and just presses the red button. No, not right now.
No, not right now, Zop.
You're like, no, not right now, to the comms coming in, you being hailed by the Empire? That's
pretty much. No, not right now.
So funny. Yeah, I think you make Darren aware of this, and Darren will come over. And I am not as good as Rich, so I am not going to attempt Wookiee noises. But he does understand some Wookiee, or well, he can kind of speak sort of Wookiee with Cherdol, and I think he informs him that there is there's this one open port that Oron has found for us.
Okay. Cherdol's response is, I will go there, but they're already aware of our presence.
Do they hail us again?
Yeah, it's already blinking. And Cherdol will point to that.
Intercessing vehicle. This is a Warlock emissarial ship. What is your business?
This is the Imperial Star Destroyer, the Vengeance. Thank you for your arrival. If you will please wait, we will send a crew to escort you personally.
Negative. This is a Warlock emissary vessel. This is our space. We will not comply. And that is key it off.
Cherdol says, TIE fighters. And there is a pair of squads of TIE fighters that are coming out of that Star Destroyer and heading towards you.
I think Darren is going to walk over to where Zop has been doing the talking and kind of flick the comm back on. Excuse me. This is Prince Darren von Warlock. I have returned home to celebrate Chrysos. I am sure it is fine for me to make port in my own home.
Ooh, it sounds like you are definitely trying to engage a move here.
A little bit, yeah.
Is it?
I'm thinking like yes, my liege, kind of, but I'm not sure if.
Let's see that one. Yes, my liege. When you issue a command to someone below your rank, they'll do it immediately, no questions asked. They're not of your people. They're a companion. Server following someone who's showing you royal treatment. Well, I mean, they are. Would you say you, Matron Chivalsa Henri's, say that you have given royal treatment to the von Warlocks?
I've acknowledged that. Yeah, yeah, I think so because I acknowledge that they are the rulers of the planet.
Okay. Then with that, I think you're issuing a command to someone who's below your rank because they are someone who have shown you royal treatment.
Mhm.
You never need to talk sense to someone who is below your rank. You give a command that directly harms the person. Yeah, they're not gonna. Okay. Awesome. Then you guys can head for the port that seems it of course is well, let me ask. Is this port in the capital city or another smaller port away from the capital city?
You're muted, Tyler.
Baller port.
Nice. Smaller port. Cool.
Do the TIE fighters escort us regardless?
They do. They do. Yeah, just to make sure.
Oron's going to lean back in his chair from the map and just, Your Grace, I'm not sure announcing your presence was the wisest course of action, but
I didn't think engaging with TIE fighters while surrounded by several other ships would have been the brightest course of action.
no, we were perhaps in a no-win scenario there.
It's an oppressive atmosphere. Come down. What is our okay, what's the general in Star Wars, like every planet is one biosphere, or what is the von Vorlock climate that we see, or is there particular topographical information that of note?
I think it's very much like a Californian vibe, so like 75 and sunny kind of like the weather is actually quite nice.
Hmm.
It's a very temperate climate. I think there's got to be some kind of resource that's like high demand wealth that is plentiful here. Insert my lack of knowledge of Star Wars resources that are.
What we will make it up. Yeah, you've got a particular. Do you think this is a resource this important for travel? Is it a particular type of food? Is it important for military? Who values it? Entertainment?
Ooh.
Is it a drug? It definitely has a different kind of vibe if it's a drug, but just throwing out different opportunities or thoughts.
I like the idea that it is not originally a drug, but since Zinja's empire has like come around, they've found it's some kind of Vorlockian crystal, and I think it predominantly can be used to make stronger vibro weapons. To like enhance the quality there, but definitely since disreputable people who have no ability to control their emotions have come down, they may have also realized that a powdered form of this is a great little stimulant.
It makes you vibrate.
It make you vibrate.
Not to step toes, last time wasn't there a discussion as well that the planet the reason it's late to the empire or to this action was that for the most part it's inhospitable, but a thin strip right down the middle is.
Yep.
That's the California vibe. Love it.
No,
okay.
So that's the that was a planet next to it.
Oh, okay.
And so they thought the planet after is just completely inhospitable. Turns out it's fucking glorious. Yeah.
Oh man, this is. Oh, that's good. Good. So you
like
guys.
how Arizona's right next to or right nearby California.
Ah,
Hey, hold on. Arizona's fine mostly.
I've heard Arizona sucks, and all people from Arizona are questionable because of heat rash to their brain. Is that true, Cody, or is that
Well, as
something I've
somebody
heard
not from
wrong?
Arizona, I can speak that yes, no matter where you come from, you end up here, your mind is melted after one summer.
I would imagine. Cool. So then, so this is Cali vibe planet. Wow, I think this is going to be the new place where Imperials come to vacation because it's just so nice. You don't need air conditioning. It's delightful. This is perfect. It's better than Coruscant. Um, you
It's
guys,
almost like how people don't want people to go to Hawaii anymore, but people still want to go to Hawaii.
exactly. Delightful. Matron, shall you share with us what do they see at this dock? What's going on? Seems like you've got something going.
As they arrive, it is so far had no interdictions or had any troops allowed. So as they come in, dock seems to be going as normal. Though you can see that there's a heightened alert because the word has spread out that soon there will be troops and all that. And probably you get the feeling of people like getting their shit and getting out as quick as, getting what they can away if they feel like it's not a good idea for the Imperials to suddenly be stepping on it. But in general, other than that kind of hectic feel, it's still kind of normal. But as you come in, there is this you land, and Darren probably or maybe you recognize as the people come in and connect your ship and all that sort of stuff, and you're all getting off. There are a few folks just kind of lazing about watching as you get off.
Am I interrupting, Tyler?
Nope.
Okay. I have something I'd like to do. Um, would there be a speeder or something on the ship?
Didn't take it as gear, but I think that's interesting, and I don't think it gives you necessarily a mechanical advantage of any kind. So let's say yes.
I think I'd like to take off in that. Like speed off in a just random direction, like tear out of the ship, like just poof.
Interesting.
I would like to use the keep them busy move to
Ha.
distract them and buy some time, and maybe the rest of the group could then do whatever they want to do, and maybe Nantel will catch up at some point.
I like that. Let's have you roll that move then. Keep them busy.
Sweet. So let me roll that.
You're
That
rolling
is
plus courage.
12.
What?
Yeah. And the halfling move, the Ewok move, sting like a bee. If I get 7+, I can steal something small from them, and they won't notice until they need it, or I taunt them with it. And I think that stealing that is the ship, right? Stealing the speeder, and I'm just going to take off. Now keep them busy. Buy some time, and all their attention is on me for now.
All right, since my cut was a soft cut, and that's a 12, probably other people would be able to notice that some of those folks that were just lazing about peel off and begin following after.
Zop gets up from his position, grabs the lightsaber from the smuggling room, and presses it into Oron's hand.
Have you done? Thank you, Zop. I appreciate what you've done for this. I getting this
fear
lightsaber.
that Nanta has perhaps accelerated our timetable.
I think the little one has. I am going to closely examine this situation.
Ooh.
I wanted to do it before the speeder bike took off, but now I have to do it fast. So I'm going to roll a couple of dice, add some sense. I got a 12. We love to see it. Great work.
Yeah, 7+ asked 3 questions from the list.
Yeah, so I want to I think what is going on here? What do my senses tell me of I almost want to use that on Nanto, but I think, you know, the people chasing Nanto. What is going on with, I guess that's the different one. That's tell me about blank. What are they doing? What will they do next? Tell me about the people chasing after Nanto. What are they doing and what will they do next?
These were clearly plans, keeping an eye out on this port, in particular, looking for a ship with your name. And what they're doing next is they're following off after what they consider to, I'm guessing this was an enclosed speeder, that we don't just see it's one Ewok in a speeder rushing off. It's something that is able to fool them. It's an amazing
What would
role.
Darren? What kind of thing would Darren drive or have as a ride?
I think as a ride, it would be probably something very sleek, sort of modern, but it would have sort of almost filigree engravings in like a light gold sort of pattern.
So what I'm imagining is it's probably like a convertible kind of thing. So the top's down, whenever it takes off, and the people coming after it probably could see inside, but they can't see exactly who's inside.
Is R0 inside?
Oh, I don't think R0 went. No.
Nice. So as you're doing this, Oron, trying to figure out what's going on, looking closely, scanning things, R0's, I'm terribly sorry. Nanta did not inform me that they would be taking the speeder for a small excursion.
It's fine, Oro. Nanta rarely tells of his plans. Let me focus.
They seem to be, especially since this is so flashy, they're probably thinking it's the Prince.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so they're in particular looking for the Prince.
All right, that's one question. Next question would be, what will happen if I blank? I think what will happen if I lead the Prince away from the ship? What will happen if I lead the crew out of the port? We're gonna have to find another way to get to where we need to go. But
I think at this point, their attention is elsewhere. Unless you get spotted further along, you'll have gotten out clean.
okay. I think my last question I want to do is, tell me about Darren. What are they doing? What will they do next?
Yeah, so I think Darren has given some caution to what you actually said on the ship. And so he usually he's in like stark white with, you know, red and gold accents, things like that. But right now he is wearing like a cloak over his entire outfit that's sort of like a very pallid gray with the hood up.
Oh my God, no one's ever going to know. This Star
Yeah,
Trek.
exactly.
This is Star Wars truth that if you wear a cloak, that's all you need.
That's all you need, exactly. You know, keeping his head down, trying to hunch as if to make himself even slighter than his 5'8".
So they think he's an Ewok?
No, I don't know if they think he's an Ewok, but just so just you know, he doesn't know what they know about him.
It's true.
And so he's trying to take some of Oron's wisdom and stay close. You if you know happen to duck and see his eyes, you do see that they are shifting quite a bit. There's like a tension bleeding into his face, and you notice his typically pale skin has gotten like, I don't know, starting to go to a little like a rose gold sort of vibe.
Okay.
Can I, sorry, I just want to ask a specific question. So Oron, I'm asking this question to Matron Chevales because Oron would recognize this. Among the folks who were plants and are going off after among them, are there any? Are they Vorons? Are they humans?
They are. There are Vorons amongst them.
Ooh, okay.
But there's a mix of aliens probably. But yes, there's definitely Vorons amongst them.
A little bit of treachery amongst the kingdom. Delightful. Thank you for that. And Oron, you notice that you can recognize a Voron versus a human or other alien species.
Yeah. I think with that, so the rest of Nanta's off the ship in the speeder. The rest of us are still on board.
Yes.
If there's treachery afoot, I'm going to look to Darren. Something is wrong here. There were Vorons in the group that chased after Nanta. I suggest that we find your sister and make sure she is safe.
That is chief most of our priorities, yes.
Zop, come closer. I have an old Jedi trick that'll help us get further along before they see us. And I'm going to use camouflage. Become invisible and undetectable. It lasts until I attack or decide to make myself known. Because my Jedi is a forest creature, when I use the camouflage spell, I can hide any number of allies with me.
Oh.
That's dope. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Excellent.
And
okay.
I'm gonna kind of put my hands on Zop and Darren's shoulders just to speak to them. Not even like I'm casting any sort of spell or force power. It's nothing like that. The force doesn't work that way, Darren. Stop asking. But Oron puts a hand on both your shoulders and he says, I can only maintain this as long as we act carefully. Zop, no disintegrations, no popping off before we're ready. Darren, I'm going to need you to keep your cool. Don't go gold on me today. At least not until we have to.
And we watch, and like I think typically, again, we kind of like look back to like prior sagas or our time together, and like you would see that typically Darren would take umbrage with such a comment, but knowing the situation that they're in, the fact that his sister is possibly in danger, you like see him try like almost take on like a face similar to some of the meditation you've tried to teach him, and he's kind of been like, what is the point of this? And yeah, he seems to be trying. And again, we see, yes, he's still a little more golden than normal, but some of it does recede to normal Paul, or at least a little bit.
Nice.
They will not see us coming. Then I will come with all I have. And Zop just like grabs all of these weapons off the stuff
Zop.
And grabs Nanta's stuff too.
Yep.
Straps it to his back.
You did exactly what I wanted you to do before I even thought to ask it. Zop, are you sure you're not force sensitive? Call Nanta, RO, call Nanta, and give him a meeting place in the port. We need to get away from here and find a new speeder.
Of course.
There are Vorons, you said, at amidst those who were acting of Imperial desires.
That's what I saw. We cannot trust anyone.
I think Darren is going to look to Verzi Diamond as his advisor and someone who, sort of knows certain things a little more than him.
Mm-hmm. It is merely something to consider. It's entirely possible that they were directed by your sister to assist. Let us be careful.
I think. Oh.
No.
And I think, Darren will just say, we can wish for that, but many of our people do not know the horror of Zinja's empires and what has done our time locked off from the rest of the galaxy has perhaps made most more vulnerable to stipulations or misunderstanding.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Tyler.
I know we're probably fixing to wrap, right?
We are.
Can I throw a cut in real quick?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay. we see that big ambassadorial shuttle has set down at the capital port, and we see inside of it. I'm going to damage 2 stats, which I admit is a little cheap of me because I know they're both going to come back by the time I get back. But I'm going to damage Grace and Courage. As we see inside of the ambassadorial shuttle, and it's clearly designed special for me. So it's kind of this cavernous black area that we're in. We see some stormtroopers have moved off. Inside, we see a Vorian. Is that what we're...
Vorin, yeah.
A Vorin. A Vorin well-dressed. And Rich, I hand off to you. I have created a threat companion, a Judas.
Oh, it's got to be like a cousin.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
just thinking that's
yeah,
got to be like a cousin.
Who is standing or is probably kneeling there in front of Chevelza. I have detected the prince has returned. Make sure he is observed and kept safe. But his sister, she will follow our warlord's desires, or you are to handle her.
Be my pleasure. My most ardent pleasure, matron. Thank you for this opportunity to prove my loyalty to the Empire.
I have great faith in you. I look back, inform Her Majesty that I have been delayed. I will not be attending her immediately. And as I turn back to this Judas, do not fail me. And there's this stirring from the back of this cavernous thing, and the whole shuttle sort of wobbles, sort of moves. You hear this, an enormous claw lands beside Chevelza, and a massive maw leans over her shoulder. It's all right, Dulac. As the rancor that she rides leans down and breathes on the traitor.
Yeah, this is Star Wars, so we don't see him pee himself, but there's just a little bit of a look in his eyes as he did not see that coming.
Ooh, this thing massive.
Yeah, and I think that is where we bring this particular session to a close. So there are some questions, and then we'd like to do a little bit of stars and wishes, but unfortunately, I'm going to need to take a very quick bio break. Let's take 2 minutes.
I actually...
So we have end of session questions. You each will answer 3 questions. Do you strike a blow against the Empire or its leaders? No. Sorry. Did you protect the common folk from harm? You're about to. Did you learn something new about the Empire and its plans?
Yes.
Absolutely. So that everyone, I'm on game reference tab, and I'm in column K. So for each yes answer, the group chooses one of the following options. You may choose each option more than once. You can refresh one piece of gear to its full value. You can choose one stat to heal. It doesn't have to be yours. The Fellowship and Empire choose one player to level up. Wow. Like, that's fast. Awesome. So the Fellowship and the Empire each choose one player to level up. So if you guys choose that one, I'll get to choose somebody to level up. It's going to be, I think it's going to be Matron Chevelza.
I almost
But-
think we have to choose that because I don't think anybody else has gear
I
being
mean,
used or stats
let's
damage.
do it. So you guys get to choose. I will choose Chevelza. You guys get to choose a player. And in case you're worried about this, like you can't choose the same player. You can't be chosen to level up if you're the highest level player or if you've already been chosen to level up. So it will move around.
Yeah. I think we should level up Nanta. Nanta's off on his own.
I like that.
Cool.
Nanta's
Okay.
got a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Wow, that was super fast. How exciting. Awesome. And we know where we're going to angle things for next time. So then let's quickly go through wishes and then we'll knock out with like a couple stars. So wishes. Who
I'll
wants to go
start
first? Go for it.
I hope to see more scenes with Versi and Darren, and I hope we both because both Darren and I, Kay and I, both seem to have different ideas about Versi, and I want to see like where that goes. And also more scenes with the Nemesis because holy crap, that is such a cool thing with this game.
Do we have the enjoyable presence of Tyler next session? Should we include that in our wishes or no?
I will not be there next. I'm every other.
Every
Well,
other. Okay.
I can't. That's my wish for the next time. After that,
Cool. Thank you,
Good
Cody. Kay, you want to go next with wishes?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely would love to see a scene with Darren and his sister. I think that's, and I'm just gonna say Darren and his family because sister, cousin, I think both could be like really interesting to see those dynamics kind of play out a bit. I also am, I am extremely curious about what I'm going to label as Nanta's adventures. And then for next week, we got to have Darren and the matron have a little look at each other.
Awesome. Steven, what about you? Wishes?
So I think this will happen naturally. I think as we get more expertise with the system, we'll move forward and have. I want to see more, right? I want to see more of the adventures of these characters, and I think that will start to flow through as we understand everything and what we need to do quicker. There is in Fellowship. There seems to be a lot of stuff going on. I know, Rich, you have a lot of work to do, and it seems like Tyler, you have a lot of work to do as well. Stepping over the cuts and things like that. So that's my concern is I want to make sure that, we get to see all these characters in play. Yeah. And I guess that also ties into I can't wait to see Tyler and the Nemesis again. Yeah.
Awesome. And I hear you. I feel so much better after actually gotten in and playing it a little bit, even though we didn't hit that many moves. And so, Tyler, did you have any wishes?
Yeah, I agree. I'm with Steven there. I think as familiarity comes in, we get the role play more. So always a wish of chances for that role play and action from the party, from the fellowship doing things. In a lot of ways, it feels like from Rich's side and the way this Nemesis is set up is they kind of front end stuff, and then we get to see Fellowship do awesome stuff to deal with it. And we had a bit of a setup and all of that, and so playtime was a little shorter. I'm looking forward to that, the Fellowship doing their awesome shit. As part of that, I can't wait to see Danta and dealing with what's going on there. And I love Oren's sort of whole vibe when dealing with Darren and dealing with I am very interested in seeing Oren, the development of his philosophy. I am so excited by that character, Cody. I think it is so interesting. So those are big wishes. And of course, I want to see Darren and the family reunion and the festival.
Yeah. So I have a wish. My wish is that we have some fun in next session, but set up a Chrysos like gathering where the matron is invited and we have the family and Darren. Like I'm super psyched for that to happen week after
like just like
next.
the dinner table where
Oh
like
yeah. Or like a Krisos ball,
oh, it's a Christmas
a
ball,
dance.
yeah. And of course, as our guest, the matron is sitting at the head table with the royal family. Yeah.
Yeah, super into that. Super into that. That's my wish.
Good.
Krisos ball. Cool.
Oh, I'm adding a new wish
Oh yeah.
because of what you've said. The matron and Darren gotta have a dance, right? If we're doing a ball.
Night
Amazing.
Sisters dance. That's great. I love it. Cool. So Kay, let's kick us off with a couple of stars. Do you have any stars?
Oh my God, I have so many stars. Thank you for asking. First of all, Steven, I absolutely love the gumption and initiative. Be like, yeah, we're all landing here, and Nanta's fucking off. Like, just taking a speed racer and going, and I love it, and Darren loves it. Just the hypest stuff. I'm so ridiculously excited for Murder Bear. You have no idea. That was just chef kiss. I also am going to sort of slightly piggyback on what Tyler said a little bit before. I really like Oran, and I'm very excited to kind of have that chill mentor to like hothead apprentice dynamic that I feel like is very classic in a lot of really great stories. And I can't wait to see how that tempers out. I love the fact that he did give up his lightsaber as someone again who knows Star Wars through Rich. From like being parted from your lightsaber. No, what? You can't let someone else have that. But you just give it up so gracefully and kind of easy. And I also like that you chose to set the scene of him having like a little coffee date. I know that's not the exact wording of what it was, but that's what
It's
it was.
what that was the intention. Yeah, absolutely.
And I
yeah.
love it. And I also love it because part of me is cooing over it, but then part of me is also like, oh wait, Oran has a family. Like that's some salacious shit I was not possibly expecting, and I love that for our cool, calm, collected Jedi.
So true, so true.
Greg is not here, but I adore the fact that Zop was like, yes, I am going to be the one who collects the weapons and makes sure they're put away as the person who has the defining feature of having lost someone's important weapon. What a fucking choice.
That's a great point. I hadn't even thought of that. That's genius.
That's so good. And then also just, I would like to, see more Zop. I want to see that ear thing. It's terrible and wonderful. Points, obviously, Rich, your NPCs, your evil lady voices, TM, the best thing in this world. And just, yeah, so great. I love how you played out that choice for the queen to sort of make the choice of not, I don't want to say giving her brother up, but giving that identifier over informing the rebellion. Like that's such like a choice a queen must make, the family of my heart and what's best for my people. Classic. And then Tyler, what a dream to get to play with you again and then have our characters align in such a matter. I am excited for the waltz that is going to be these two in like their back and forth and just like the choices of her asking about Darren, setting these things up, the way she speaks in those manners. And then obviously the 1-2 punch of not only do we have a traitor, I also have this giant fucking maw rock monster. Is just holy fudge balls. So yeah, so good. So good.
Yeah, that was great, Tyler. I'll just dovetail on that. That was one hell of a reveal. So Tyler, did you have any stars you wanted to throw out?
Absolutely. These characters are amazing. This the Fellowship, it looks so interesting. I like kind of the butting up against each other on some things that that in time they're going to get to know each other better and these relationships are going to deepen. But to see at the beginning some things that are, just not quite gelled yet makes for the story going forward so well. I think I've already said, I think Oren is just fascinating. I cannot wait to see more of that character. Nanta I love the concept, Stephen. You always make such deep characters, but this one seems so dangerous, and to put them in the shell of something that people are going to not recognize as dangerous or smart, they're going to underestimate. And I know how well you play to know that this is going to be this phenomenal, gigantic character in such a small package. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And hey, with Darren already establishing this, as you said, a brat, this kind of a, upper class twit that we're going to get the opportunity to surely see become humanized, to get that responsibility, is so interesting. It is going to be so much fun having them in that area of forciness with some pulls from both sides. There's a lot of play that can go on there. That just beautiful. And Rich, kind of neat to bring it in straight to the Vorlock planet and have us kind of address that early on. I don't know where you're going. I'm not privy to the DM's plans, so I don't know what's going on there. But this could potentially be a very emotional, awful thing happen and all of that go on. And when you got 2 Star Destroyers over a planet, there's very little that could be more oppressive than having 2 Star Destroyers over your planet. So I think that just the setup is wonderful. I gave a way that, like, my character could be out of scene next time. I don't know. Again, I don't know what you got planned for next time. With both Greg and I gone, whatever goes on, feel free to use me however you'd like.
Thank you.
But it feels like there's so much awesome potential fixing to happen. And Fellowship's a fun game for really letting people just come up with cool shit. I mean, that whole idea of it is so fun.
Yeah, it's great. Steven, what about you? Did you have any stars out there that you want to
I do. I find the Nemesis playbook really interesting, and the way that you played that, Tyler, was just amazing. And I can't wait to see, with my first impression of the Nemesis playbook, my thought was it could be redeemed or you could pull some of us over. I didn't know you could go back and forth until you explained that. And that is fascinating, going back and forth. It fits the story really well. I think that's awesome. Greg's not here, but I really like the way that he dealt with the stuff on the ship and everything. And I can't wait to see more of, Zop come back and do stuff. I'm especially wanting to make sure that the relationship between Nanta develop. I love the way that Darren, dealt with, no, we're not just going to, I'm just going to announce myself because I deserve to be on this planet. I'm really the ruler here, and just took it over. That really reset everything. We're not, the idea that we're all rebels and we're going to sneak in, but Darren's like the ruler here and, is of the ruling class and just belongs here. That was really good to see that in play. And, Oren, I didn't mean to step on your toes with the whole I'm going to camouflage everyone, but that worked so well. And, the way that you snapped back at Darren, whenever they were using the stillness and everything, I really like that interaction and seeing how that was happening in play. It was really good. Yeah.
Excellent. Cody, bring us home.
Yeah, Steven, truly always bring the heat with your characters. You know what you're doing, and then you go for it. You rarely have any hemming and hawing about what you personally should do. You're like, I have all these options, and I will take one of them and go. And so I think that just makes the game go, and it's huge. It's great. Greg, you're not here, but I really liked the scene of Zop cleaning Oren Saber a little bit as it's just such a quick RP moment that was just you had complete control over it. And I loved how fast, concise, and impactful it was. Like, what a fucking little nugget to put in there. That was great. Darren is this huge potential, like he could be anything. and I can't wait to see where that goes because it's such a ride, right? Like it started off and you're like, oh, this kid's such a brat. And then, 15 minutes later, he's like, okay, I do need to keep my head together. So it's like, okay, I am ready for the Darren von Vorlock ride of where he's going to end up and how these characters are going to influence him and how he's going to influence them, because I think he's just bursting with potential. I can't wait. And then Star to Tyler, dude, this Nemesis character you've created is insanely awesome. You bring the heat with it. I love it. You're immediately in with the voice. You're immediately doing these cuts. I don't know what these cut things are exactly, but they're cool as hell. I think it's such a cool thing to add because, yeah, Rich, you're always the bad guys. You're always the framework, as it were. And now it's like you have your setup, and then also there's this. It's genius to have this third party like plays all sides, just popping in and doing stuff. And I think it's so damn cool. I can't wait to see more of it. So yeah, huge start of that, Tyler.
Excellent. Really enjoyed this session. Thank you all so much for playing and being giving. I love what we're creating together. This has got some serious legs. My only sadness is that there's no Greg and no Tyler next week, but Cody, Kay, Steven focused episode can be pretty awesome too. So we will see half of you next week. And thanks so much for playing. We'll stop the recording here.